Hi, I'm Carrie Kauffman, professional organizer serving the greater Philadelphia area. If you're overwhelmed by clutter, you're not alone. On this channel, we'll straighten up the stuff you can see and unpack the feelings you can't. From organizing hacks to understanding the emotional weight behind our belongings, this is your space to find clarity and peace. A small business owner asked for a professional organizer, and wow, how far we've come. It's taken us around the world, Italy and the Dominican Republic, to Yellowstone, Boston, and Nashville. And let's not forget, 2 features in the Wall Street Journal. And we'll get back to that later. Let's talk about where it all started. Jamie, thank you so much for coming on. Can you tell us about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Well, by day, I own Whirl Away Travel, which is a second-generation travel agency. We specialize in enriching lives through luxury travel experiences. So what that means is we plan everything from beginning to end for our clients. We specialize in highly customized luxury travel. Luxury means a lot of different things to different people, but what we look at is service. By night and by weekends and all the other times, I'm a wife, a mother of 2 kids and 3 dogs, and I love going to Africa.
That is one place that I would love. I don't know if I can get my husband on board, but we'll see what we can do.
Ladies trip.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so let's re-jog your memory. June 4th, 2015, you posted on Mainline Parent, and you said that I needed some help and a professional organizer. And tell us a little bit about why you needed help.
So when I joined the family business 15 years ago, I also acquired an old building, an old office space, and employees that had 25 years of stuff packed into a 1,000-square-foot space. And it was overwhelming. There was no way that I was going to be able to get rid of everything and help everybody organize. And I kept seeing your name mentioned on one of the Facebook groups, and I remember exactly where I was when I talked to you. I was standing in my backyard in Westchester, and you came out, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Okay, so with that, we were together for 8 days.
Yes.
8 long days.
It's like Hanukkah.
Right. And your mom, Patty, was not sure about me, right?
No, she was not sure about you. She's a pack rat, but a very organized pack rat. Her house is
Yes.
impeccable. Her office, not so much.
Yes, yes. So in 8 days, what did I remember everything that we've done? So we've gone through, we worked with every advisor that was there.
Yes.
So at the time, there was only, 4 of you, right, that was in the office. And I believe we started with the files in your office in those cuticles or in the magazine holders.
Mm-hmm.
And
So we had that wall, the bookcase
Yes.
wall, where it was our research wall, I guess you could call it, and it had brochures from floor to ceiling. Those ceilings were about, 16, 18 feet
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
And there was stuff in there from, I think, 1985, possibly. I mean, it was old, and it was a mess. And you brought in, you put me to task and told me what to buy, and I got those magazine folders,
Yeah.
and, oh, it was beautiful.
Yes. And we labeled everything on my little trusty handy P-Touch label maker.
Trashed a lot.
We trashed a lot, recycled, but also going through of, okay, what was still relevant, what wasn't. And it was really kind of letting go because at that time, it was still useful to you. And then we moved on to your other advisors. So I worked individually with all of them for their desks. And what was their feedback on what they needed and, was it what they thought it was going to be?
Yes. So, I think what was most surprising was the simplicity of using a label maker, having files labeled consistently, clearly, and in an organized way. And you worked with each advisor and taught them systems that were going to work for them. It was not a one size fits all. It was not, everybody's going to do it one way. You really customized it, which was, I think, what was most impactful for everybody. And feedback was great. I mean, everybody stayed organized after you left, which I think is like so worth the investment, is that you want somebody to come in and not just get you organized so you can mess it up in a week, but to teach you how to stay organized. And so the feedback was really positive from all. I think you worked with me first.
I did
and
work with you.
Got
Yep.
my desk organized, and I've maintained that to this day. Probably not as perfect, but pretty
Doesn't
good.
have to be,
No.
as long as it's working for you.
And then you worked with the advisors, and then I know that you tackled the mother.
The mom. Yes.
Yes.
And we did this because there was a transition from mom owning and then, of course, passing it down to you, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so that also is, all right, this little young whippersnapper is going to come in and she's going to, what were her fears of me coming in?
I think her fears were that things were going to get lost, or she wasn't going to be able to find something that she had referred to maybe 5 years ago and thought that she was going to refer to it again. That was the biggest fear for her. She's also old school and not as trusting of somebody else coming into her space. So it was, I think what was really helpful was that you worked with everybody else first. She saw how much progress was made and how happy everybody was. And then she was much more willing to let you come into her space.
Right,
and help
right.
her out.
Well, I think that's when I tell all of my clients, like, you have to start with your own stuff first, and then let everyone see how things are working better for you, how you're excelling, taking the stress off. Because really, 8 days, that was a lot of stress.
Yes.
And just trying to, and that's in your workspace, and everybody's still working.
Yes.
Nobody took a day off. Everybody is, we paused, if they needed to take a phone call, clients came in, and it was like, okay, we're just going to bounce back to the next one. Now, had you thought about letting, your agents do everything on their own?
They wouldn't have.
They wouldn't have.
Yeah. No.
But it was more of, okay, you realized as a business owner, we need to put systems in place.
Yes.
And systems
Absolutely.
in place will go ahead and stay there. You can grow from it.
There's also a trust factor. You're meeting with a client, you open your desk drawer, and it looks like, Pigpen's abode. And it's not going to go well with a client who you're organizing a trip for them, but you can't even be organized yourself.
Right.
There's a huge aspect in the organization on both sides for that.
Right. And a lot of, people come in and being like, oh, you're exactly right. Your desk is messy or yes, how are you going to go ahead and plan something for me?
Yes.
So, yes. Okay. And so we also did the break room. Because when everybody has to unwind in a space, they're not doing it at their desk, sit down, do the break room. And it was one of those things is you needed just not only to declutter, but also to increase productivity.
Yes. We absolutely had to increase productivity, declutter. When you can't find what you're looking for, you spend more time looking for it. So it was just, I think it just helped. It helped us not only like aesthetically because it didn't look cluttered, but it helped us mentally be so much more organized. If I have a client file and it's labeled, I know where that client file is because it's labeled right in front of my face versus having, my chicken scratch.
Yes.
I'm like, wait, what did that say? I can't find it. It made such a difference.
Right. And we had talked about, okay, if if somebody calls out and you have to pick up, you know, right where they left off, you want to be able to come in and being like, okay, this is their file. Oh,
Yes.
you're not reading chicken scratch. You're not looking for,
No.
time. You're saving, time, which is valuable as a business owner.
And we've moved all of that organization now, of course, digitally. So our Whirl Away system is so organized. I don't do it. I follow the system, but I did not do the organization of it.
Right.
But it's just so organized. But it started from you coming in and teaching us the systems and how to stay organized and how to, everything has a place.
Right.
And that's what we've been following.
So small business owners who are listening, and again, you don't need to plug my services, but share with them how being organized has helped you, helped your, advisors, and, what that looks like now that, where can you grow, in the future with it?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is as a small business, we want to grow. And this is probably going to sound a little off the cuff, but how can we be attractive to a potential new employee if we're not presenting as an organized organization? It starts at the very beginning of being a well-organized company and having systems in place that are going to make bringing somebody in easy, bringing a new client in easy, because we follow an organized system.
Okay, so since Westchester, you have all moved.
Twice.
Twice now.
Yes, twice.
Okay.
And we're getting ready for another move.
Okay.
Yes.
Share where that looks like.
So during COVID, we downsized from our 1,000 square foot office space to, I called it the fishbowl. So we went from a large office to a single desk with a credenza room in a shared co-working space in Westchester. And then we moved to a little bit of a larger office space just so that people would have space to work. But we really cut down on all of the brochures, the paper, all of the stuff that, wasn't necessary to have there. And we've got, a central area that is well labeled. Everything has its place in that. It's like a big bookcase or cabinet that has everybody's, all of our shared things in it. And then we were there for about a year, and then we moved to Chesterbrook in Flex at Chesterbrook into another fishbowl room. And we are moving to another office space in Flex Chesterbrook because we just need more space because we're growing.
Now, how many advisors do you have with you now?
Oh gosh, I always do this. I'll just say that we have a team of 12.
Team of 12?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have some support staff, and then our advisors in that team of 12. And we are actively growing.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, which is good.
Good. Okay, so now you are organized at work.
Yes.
Everyone around you is organized at work. All right, now time to talk about Bob and how that led to the Wall Street Journal. Now, let me jog your memory. So the office was a huge win, and now it was time to bring the magic back into the house. I've got a text from you on August 8th, 22, and you said, the basement, we need help in the basement, and it's slightly horrible. I think we could do it in one day. And then we set up a plan for September of that same year. And your basement was triple duty. It was the kids' hangout, workout, the laundry room, and then Bob's stuff. Let's talk about all of that.
Oh, yeah. So we had a little Cape Cod in Westchester. The total house square footage was 1,093 square feet, not including the basement. Yes, I know that exact square footage because we used every single square foot of it.
I know you did.
And we had this basement that we talked about refinishing, and it was really a catch-all. I mean, it was the kids had, their play area. We had workout stuff down there. We had a wrestling mat because, we've got wrestlers in the family. And then on the other side was the laundry. It was the access out to the deck. And then there was Bob's storage, Bobby. Bobby is a licensed electrician, and he had all of his electrical stuff down there with absolutely no order, and things from like his previous life before we got married. I mean, there was just so much stuff down there. And it got to the point that I mean, the floor was covered. I could not go downstairs and do laundry without my like stress level spiking. And I just said, something's got to give. So I said, we got to get this clean. I'll do it. Didn't get done. Or he'd go down there and get caught in the, looking through stuff and getting sentimental over all of the things that he's going through, which I think is a big reason to hire a professional organizer, because you have no emotion over this stuff. Like, you're like, keep it or get rid of it or donate it. Like, let's get a move on.
Right.
So I remember the weekend before you came, he went downstairs and he put a little tiny dent into some of the stuff, and I said, go through, and she's going to come and she's going to get rid of what we need to get rid of. So if there's things that you want to keep, like, find it, put it aside so that you can keep it. Otherwise, if I don't know what it is, it's going in the trash. Mm-hmm. And I remember Zane was home. I think he was 8 at the time, 7 or 8 years old.
He was just tiny. Yeah,
he is a little thing now. He's bigger than me. But I mean, you came over and you knocked that out. We could have never done it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking of telling you a day. Maybe it's because I knew how good you were.
Well, yeah. Well, we also had, it was, 2.5 of us all working together. And yes, Bobby had done a lot of the prep work, for that. But he also had a lot of reservations with having me come in.
I didn't tell him you were coming until like the day before. I said something to him and he said, no, we have to clean up beforehand. I'm like, that's why she's coming, is to get it organized. Well, I don't want her going through my stuff. She doesn't know what she's doing. He had a lot of reservations. And so I just kind of like let it die. And then the day before, or the weekend before, I said, Carrie's coming. She's already committed. So get it together this weekend. If not, like, your stuff's going in the trash, dude.
But he did that on his own. So everything that was left over was everything that I was able to organize.
Yes.
And he had no knowledge that I had already worked with another electrician. So I knew a lot of the tools, I knew a lot of the drills, things like that he had already had in the space. And I was able to be like, okay, these are all your cords, these are the drills, these are all of our bits. So beforehand, you and I had talked and we were like, okay, these are the bins that you need to get, large, small, we're going to label everything. And it was, it was good for my end because that's, what I love to do every day. Mm-hmm. But you also knew from being a business owner who had me in your business, that it was going to be life-changing.
Yes. And
then he walks in after I leave, and what did he tell you?
Oh, he was floored. He's like, wow. And he does not give compliments, ever. He finds the fault in everything, and he didn't find any fault in anything that you did. So him not saying much besides wow and really happy and impressed with how organized everything was, and being able to go and say and find what, he was easily looking for and be like, oh, I didn't know that I had that, or, that was, you probably had more of an impact on him and that space than anything I've ever done.
Sure, that's true. Okay, but he then, like you said, he's a business owner. Mm-hmm. So now he knows how being organized is vital in his business. It saves him time. It helps him be productive. It helps him, his workflow each day.
Yes.
Okay. So now, since then, you all have moved.
Yes. That was actually one of the reasons that he had been wanting to move for a while. And I was like, just the thought of packing that stuff.
Right.
I mean, I said, there's no way. There's we're just going to have to put a bomb in this house and then start fresh. And so that was actually the catalyst that started us really down the moving path. And that happened in September, and we moved in January.
Okay.
I mean, it was like that.
Right.
So quick.
And now you moved into your new home.
Mm-hmm.
How are things in the new home?
So they're good.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the kids' spaces, Gianna is super organized.
Mm-hmm.
I, for the most part, am pretty organized. Zane is organized in his own 13-year-old chaotic way. We're just going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
And Bobby has stuck with most of the organization. I think in his nature, he's kind of he's got some pack rat tendencies, but because the rest of us are constantly putting things in their place and not finding things when he can't find them on his own. I'm like, it's not mine. You can find it, or you could put it away where it belongs, and then you'd be able to find it again. He's definitely stayed. It's not in any state of where it was.
Good.
It's pretty good.
Good.
And all of the bins, they're all still intact, and they're labeled just as they should be.
A label does, again, do a little, this isn't sponsored by P-Touch Label Maker, but maybe so. Maybe in the future. But a label does a lot. Mm-hmm. If you see a label on something, you're more likely to go ahead and put it back where it belongs.
Oh, imagine the day that I opened the refrigerator and all of the shelves were labeled. Zane did that.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. And that's just one of those things is people know what they need. If he needs labels to go ahead and open the refrigerator, then, I can't say a bad word about that. That's just amazing. I was just telling my other guest, I'm like, I have my washer and dryer labeled. That was when I was teaching my kids how to do their laundry. Like, a label does a lot of wonderful things. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move to the Wall Street Journal. February of this year, I got an email from one of the editors looking to talk with any of my clients that, had experienced professional organizing. What would their, feedback? Is it still the same as when I left? Did you fall back into, bad habits? And how was your overall experience? Tell us, how that article went for you.
I mean, it was great. It was a pretty short interview with the girl that did it, and I, pretty much shared a lot of what I just shared with you of the story of how it happened, and that, for the most part, we're a lot more organized than we were before, and using the systems to the best of our ability. Of course, probably not quite as organized as your house, but.
Don't even
don't go there.
I always say that I have a very lived-in house.
Yes.
I do not take any extra clutter. I don't do anything that is, going to cause me chaos.
Yes.
But we live there, I mean, it doesn't look like the home edit. It doesn't look like anybody else's.
Does anybody's house look like the home edit?
There's,
Yes. A couple.
A few.
They got a team. They got a staff.
Yes. I am real life. I am, yes. So.
And that's like, you know what, Carrie, like that is the thing that I think people need to understand is that being organized and looking like a magazine article are two very different things.
Right.
The reality of it is that it's exactly like you have to live. Yes. And so you need to have organization in your life, not just strive to look.
It doesn't need to be picture perfect.
Correct.
It doesn't need, people are always surprised, like what is your daily habits or what would surprise me if I walked into your bedroom? I don't make my bed. I really don't.
Because you're going to mess it up anyway.
It is one less thing. See, that would cause me stress, is that I work very long hours, and the last thing I want to do is come home and rip 5, 6 pillows off my bed, take the comforter down, go ahead and do everything. I'm already exhausted. If I have to do those 5 things just to get in my bed, that causes me so much stress.
Yep.
Is the blanket off to the left-hand side? Can I go ahead and get in? Yes. Can I wrap it back up? I'm done. I don't need anything extra.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. And then, of course, Bobby, and our article, August,
Mm-hmm.
the Wall Street Journal called again and said, hey, you know what? We want to go ahead and talk to Bobby about his experience. And how was his experience with the editor and sharing how, things had happened in the home with me?
So all of the communication that he had with the editor was between him and the editor. I was not privy to any of that. She did call me back just to clarify some things, which I think, we were, for the most part, all on the same page.
Uh-huh.
But, I asked him to, and he kind of dragged it, grumbling when I have to do that. I'm like, just, if you don't do it, it's going to be a problem. So let's get it done, buddy. And I think him being able to reflect on that experience, because it had happened, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
For him to go back and reflect on that experience was a good thing, because he just, it brought up the feelings that he had about getting organized and how important it was for him.
Right. Oh, well, that's good. And for our listeners, we will go ahead and share that link to the Wall Street Journal and share the whole article, and so they could go ahead and reach that. And okay, so one last thing, since you have taken us to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Recap: Italy, Dominican Republic, Boston, Nashville, and now we are ready to go to New York.
Okay.
Kids are now, I have 18-year-old twins, so it is now time to go to New York to experience all of that. We are excited, and we can't wait for you and your team to go ahead and send us on an amazing vacation.
It'll be a fun trip.
Yeah, and that was another thing. It was like, working with all of you and seeing everything and hearing all of the trips and the destinations. And I was just like, you know what? This is where I want to be. This is where I want to go. You planned our first trip to Italy, and it was just, I mean, I keep saying Italy.
I still remember the upgrade that you got at the Brunelleschi Hotel,
Yes.
which was just crazy. I mean, you got the top tower suite. That was a pretty phenomenal room.
First class was also not so shabby.
No. Not at all.
And yeah. So, and I always tell my clients, they're like, so when are you, if you retire, what are you going to do? Well, I would love to work with you and your amazing advisors, because you all are very organized, and I could just squeeze right in there.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, it's one of those, and to travel. I mean, it's amazing. Okay,
fun.
so if my listeners want to experience Whirl Away,
Yes.
how do they go ahead and contact you?
So they can contact us via email at hello@whirlawaytravel.com. They can go to our website and contact us through the link on our website at whirlawaytravel.com, or they can call us at 610-431-3642.
Wonderful. Jamie, thank you again for stopping by today, and I can't wait to work with you and your family again.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.